Okay, good morning. We're back with First Kings chapter 14. Ahijah's prophecy against Jeroboam. At that time, Jeroboam's son Abijah, Abijah became very sick. So Jeroboam told his wife, "Disguise yourself so that no one will recognize you as the queen. Then go to the prophet Ahijah at Shiloh, the man who told me I would become king. Take the gift of 10 loaves of bread. Excuse me while I turn the page here. Trying to block the light. Some cakes and a jar of honey, and ask him what will happen to the boy." So Jeroboam's wife went to Ahijah's home at Shiloh. He was an old man now and could no longer see, but the Lord had told Ahijah, "Jeroboam's wife will come here, pretending to be someone else. She will ask you about her son, for he is very sick. You must give her the answer that I give you." So when Ahijah heard her footsteps at the door, he called out, "Come in, wife of Jeroboam. Why are you pretending to be someone else?" Then he told her, "I have bad news for you. Give your husband Jeroboam this message from the Lord of Israel. I promoted you from the ranks of the common people and made you ruler over my people Israel. I ripped the kingdom away from the family of David and gave it to you, but you have not been like my servant David. You obeyed my commands and followed me with all his heart and always did whatever I wanted him to do. You have done more evil than all who lived before you. You have made other gods and have made me furious with your gold calves. And since you have turned your back on me, I will bring disaster on your dynasty and kill all your sons, slave and free alike. I will burn up your royal dynasty as one burns up trash until it is all gone. I, the Lord, vow that the members of your family who die in the city will be eaten by dogs, and those who die in the field will be eaten by vultures." Then Ahijah said to Jeroboam's wife, "Go home, and when you enter the city, the child will die. All Israel will mourn for him and bury him. He is the only member of your family who will have a proper burial, for this child is the only good thing that the Lord, the God of Israel, sees in the entire family of Jeroboam. And the Lord will raise up the king over Israel who will destroy the family of Jeroboam. This will happen today, even now. Then the Lord will shake Israel like a reed whipped about a stream. He will uproot the people of Israel from this good land that he gave their ancestors, and will scatter them among the Euphrates River. For they have angered the Lord by worshipping Asherah poles. He will abandon Israel because Jeroboam sinned and made all of Israel sin along with him. So Jeroboam's wife returned to Tirzah, and the child died just as she walked through the door of her home. When the people of Israel buried him, they mourned for him, as the Lord had promised through the prophet Ahijah. The rest of the events of Jeroboam's reign, all of his wars, and how he ruled, are recorded in the book of history of the kings of Israel. Jeroboam resigned in Israel 22 years, and when Jeroboam died, his son Nadab became the next king. Rehoboam rules in Judea. Meanwhile, Rehoboam, son of Solomon, was king in Judea. He was 41 years old when he became king, and he reigned 17 years in Jerusalem, the city of the Lord had chosen from among all the tribes of Israel as a place to honor his name. Rehoboam's mother was Naamah, an Ammonite woman. During Rehoboam's reign, the people of Judah, did what was evil in the Lord's sight, arousing his anger with their sin, for it was even worse than that of their ancestors. They built pagan shrines and set up sacred pillars and Asherah poles on every hill high and under every green tree. There was even shrine prostitutes throughout the land. The people imitated the detestable practices of the pagan nations the Lord had driven from the land ahead of the Israelites. In the 5th year of the king Rehoboam's reign, King Shishak of Egypt came up and attacked Jerusalem. He ransacked the temple of the Lord and the royal palace and stole everything, including all the gold shields Solomon had made. Afterward, Rehoboam made bronze shields as substitutes, and he entrusted them to the care of the palace guard officers. Whenever the king went to the temple of the Lord, the guards would carry them along and then return them to the guard room. The rest of the events in Rehoboam's reign and all his deeds are recorded in the book of history of the kings of Judea. There was constant war between Rehoboam and Jeroboam. Excuse me. When Rehoboam died, he was buried among his ancestors in the city of David, and his brother was Naamah, an Ammonite, and his mother was Naamah, an Ammonite woman. Then his son Abijam became the next king. Abijam rules in Judea. Abijam began to rule over Judea in the 18th year of Jeroboam's reign in Israel. He reigned in Jerusalem 3 years. His mother was Maacah, the daughter of Absalom. He committed the same sins as his father before him, and his heart was not right with the Lord his God, as the heart of his ancestor David had been. Before David's sake, the Lord his God allowed his dynasty to continue, and he gave Abijam a son to rule over in Jerusalem. For David had done what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, and obeyed the Lord's commands throughout his life, except in the affair concerning Uriah the Hittite. There was a war between Abijam and Jeroboam throughout Abijam's reign. The rest of the events in Abijam's reign and all his deeds are recorded in the book of history of the kings of Judea. There was constant war between Abijam and Jeroboam. When Abijam died, he was buried in the city of David. Then his son Asa became the next king. Asa rules in Judea. Asa began to rule over Judea in the 20th year of Jeroboam's reign in Israel. He reigned in Jerusalem 41 years. His grandmother was Micah, the daughter of Absalom. Asa did what was pleasing in the Lord's sight, as his ancestor David had done. He banished the shrine prostitutes from the land and removed all the idols his ancestors had made. He even disposed his grandmother Maacah from her position as queen mother because she had made an obscene Asherah pole. He cut down the pole and burned it in the Kindra Valley. Although the pagan shrines were not completely removed, Asa remained faithful to the Lord throughout his life. He brought into the temple of the Lord the silver and gold and the utensils that he and his father had dedicated. There was constant war between King Asa of Judea and King Baasha of Israel. King Baasha of Israel invaded Judea and fortified Ramah in order to prevent anyone from entering or leaving King Asa's territory in Judea. Asa responded by taking all the silver and gold that was left in the treasures of the Lord's temple and the royal palace. He sent it with some of his officials to Ben-Hadad, son of Tabarimmon and grandson of Hezon, the king of Aram, who was ruling in Damascus, along with this message. Let us renew the treaty that existed between your father and my father. See, I am sending you a gift of silver and gold. Break your treaty with the king Baasha of Israel so that he will leave me alone. Ben-Hadad agreed to King Asa's request and sent his armies to attack Israel. They conquered the towns of Ijon, Dan, Abel, Beth, Maacah, and all Kinreth, with all the land of Naphtali. As soon as Baasha of Israel heard what was happening, he abandoned his project of fortifying Ramah and withdrew to Tirzah. Then King Asa sent an order throughout Judea, requiring that everyone without exception help to carry away the building stones and timbers that Baasha had been using to fortify Ramah. Asa used these materials to fortify the town of Geba in Benjamin and the town of Mizpah. The rest of the events in Asa's reign and the extent of his power and the names of the cities he built are recorded in the book of history of the kings of Judea. In his old age, his feet became diseased. When Asa died, he was buried with his ancestors in the city of David. Then his son Jehoshaphat became the next king. I don't know if I could read the next in a minute or so. I think I'll stop there and pick up the remainder when I come back and read chapter 16.